I'm very excited about having this next gentleman on our program. As I mentioned at the top of the show, never fails to make me laugh. He will be appearing at the Westbury Music Fair right here in New York beginning September 28th through October 2nd. Truly one of the funniest men in the world. Please welcome Don Rickles. You look great.
You got a real laid-back crowd here.
No.
They're all sitting there with grenades and guns.
They're happy to see you. We get a good group, and
you should do. And I've never been on your show. I've been with you once in Los Angeles,
right?
When Johnny Carson, when you were. You remember him?
Yeah.
Ed McMahon, who you're going to have on tomorrow night.
He'll be here tomorrow.
I just saw him today. We had a drink together, and he runs in front of Johnny's car and checks for grenades and all that. It's his whole life, Johnny Carson. Paul, have yourself committed.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said.
Awfully nice guy, but there's a new thing out called food. The black kid's sitting there going, what's he making fun of him for? What's he making fun of him?
Don, that's Hiram Bullock.
Hiram Bullock, yeah,
Don
that's
Rickles.
a black guy. Hiram Bullock. They give themselves those funny names so to stump the cops. What's your name, boy? Hiram Bullock. Now go back. I kid you, Hiram. You're black and I'm white. That's the breaks. Is he laughing? See if he's laughing.
No, he's laughing, sure. Yeah.
How old are you, Hiram? Yeah, and he's tired already. Look at that. Later on, we'll come over and have harmonica lessons here, okay? Good to see you, Hiram. You're a good fella.
Don, you just got back.
Can I ask you something,
Please
David?
do.
When you were a kid, did they hang you? Do you notice every time I watch you on he sits like you got a stick on your can and you're waiting for field day or something. You're like Carson, the real Midwest guy. He never perspires. I bet when you get married, you make love to the wife. Not a trickle. Nothing. I bet you probably stand by the end of the bed going, well, I want to take a crack at it, huh? What do you say? Anyway. I could say anything because at 12:30, nobody's up.
No, there's a fine group of folks out there.
No, you have a
doing
good
this.
following. I never thought you were going to make it. I'm delighted for you. I was one of the guys that said, this guy's a stiff, he ain't going to make it.
No.
And Crystal, that kid Crystal, Danny, not Danny, Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
Yeah, who's your good friends, like Newhart and I. You are good friends.
Yeah, he's a very funny man.
Yeah, he is. Because I've watched him on the show, and I spoke to him a few times about you, and he was fed up, too. No, that's not true. But I like that camaraderie you have between Billy and you, and Newhart and I have that, too.
Yeah.
And Bob is, he's like you. That's why we're such good friends. I think
Bob's terrific.
Yeah.
You know, it occurred to me the other day, he's, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think he had a television show in the 60s, he had one in the 70s, and now he's got one in the 80s. And each of them have been very successful. That's a pretty impressive record. 3 separate shows,
I know. He reminds me of that every day. I had a few shows that, unfortunately, started to get funny, and they took it off.
Now, how many shows did you have?
Well, David, first I had a show on ABC with Pat McCormick.
What was that called?
That was called Make It Up and Hope It Goes Over. We used to stand on the set. That's the truth. Pat used to make it up, and we used to. And ABC at that time, Goldenson was the president. Still is the chairman of the board now. You know Goldenson of ABC?
No, I don't know.
He's a great guy. A little Jewish guy just sits in the office going, "Turn on the light." Somebody turn on the light. Anyway, it's cheap chairs here. And then I had another show called the Don Rickles Show with Sheldon Leonard, where I played an executive, your type of guy, you know, the Midwest guy, but nobody bought that, you know, because I'm a New Yorker all my life, you know. I'm the kind of guy that hangs around the neighborhood and goes, what do you say, Vinny? You know.
Yeah.
Hey, here's your Vinny. Vinny, hey. Anyway, so that's Italian for how's your family. Look at that bullet bought that.
We got
I never heard of that.
Don, we have to do a commercial here.
Sure, whatever you want. It's your show.
We'll do a commercial, and then we'll be right back. Don Rickles will be here for the rest of the... Welcome back. Don Rickles is here. You ever been to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Don?
Once, in the service. We went through with the shades down. No, it's a nice area.
Yeah. Well, no, say something nice about the folks down there because they just...
Baton Rouge? Kiss my Charlotte Rouge? No, I love it down there. I don't plan to work there, but No, it's nice. It really is. That part of the country I'm not too familiar with. I've been through there, but I've never worked there. You used to do college dates and so forth. I never went to college. You went to Ball State.
That's right. Now, how did you know I went to Ball State
Well, because
University?
you're my whole life. I mean, I don't watch television in the supermarket. We have a set at home, you know. I do watch you. You think I don't, but I do. I really do.
Well,
12:30 at night when the wife's relaxing, in between little club dates, we turn you on, and I enjoy you. I really do.
How is your wife?
She's great. She wanted to come to the show tonight, but she took a room in Saks. We just came back from Italy, David. Have you ever been to Italy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You don't have to call me sir.
Oh, okay. All right.
King of all Jews will be enough. But you make me feel so old, David.
I'm sorry. I'm just
Bob
at,
Hope, you can say sir. George Burns.
Indiana,
Those men deserve sir.
All right, Don.
And
Call
Carson,
you Don?
certainly for you,
Yeah.
sir. Not for me, but... Well, yes, for me sometimes, I would say that. But I must say that we just came back from it, and the wife, my name on trips, you're not a married guy yet. Someday I hope you will be, if that be your wish. I don't know. Are you... Do you plan to get married, or you just want to...
No, I plan to get married.
Just want to confuse the public?
No, I plan to get married.
Still lock yourself in your room with the radio on loud? You got to get married, David. You really got to do it. It's great. I was 38 years old before I got married. I'm 57 now. For a minute there, I thought it was a Keno game. Paul, if you get a chance, look over here and see how we're doing, huh? Just sits there in the nude looking at his body.
No,
Anyway, I must say, though, that we went to Italy, and my name on the trip was, so help me, to all of us, my name was, You Don't Need That. My wife kept buying for her. She bought jewelry, bless her heart. She bought shoes. And I'd say, I think I need a T-shirt. You don't need that. That was my middle name. You don't need that.
Yeah.
And so we went to Capri. We went to Venice. And the exciting part is my son turned 13, and I had him bar mitzvah. You know that expression? That's when a Jewish boy becomes of age, becomes a man, so to speak. And we went to the wall in Israel and said all the prayers, and it was great. And Newhart, he wanted to come.
You went with... Oh, you didn't go with Bob?
No, because they recognize him. They try to pick him off. I mean, there are Gentiles and Gentiles, but he has the white skin, and definitely doesn't look like... He looks like a Nazi fighter pilot. That's what he looks like. But Bob and I did visit Israel previous to this, and we had a marvelous time together, and he kept saying, let's go to the birthplace of Jesus, you know, and I kept telling that to the Israeli soldiers, and they kept giggling and laughing. I don't know what that meant, but I said, let's see the birthplace of Jesus. And we did. They were most kind. The Israeli government was terrific to Bob. And it really, I'm not, as long as we're on that thing, I mean, no matter what your faith is, Israel, it's a fantastic place. All the holiest places in the world are there, and it's great, you know. Especially for Bob, you know, when he laid on the ground and went, Salam you know, and I gave him a cookie, and he stopped doing that.
Now, when you travel out of the country, Don, do people recognize you?
Oh, yes. They don't recognize you? They know me like that. No, I'm amazed. It's not so much the Europeans, as you can well imagine. You know, they don't television is, you know, unless you have a Dallas or something like that, you're Larry Hagman or what have you, for the lack of another name right now. But he's my neighbor at the beach. They're going to have him taken away with Paul. Yeah, he runs up and down the beach with a big flag going, have you seen me on Dallas? He's completely out of control.
Yeah,
the man's
peculiar.
Anyway,
you don't seem like a beach kind of guy. You live at the beach, do you?
What is a beach kind of guy like?
Like Will, our guitar player. He seems our bass player. He seems like a beach kind of guy.
No, but you're a beach kind of guy. Where do you go to the beach? Out here, Rockaway, Jones Beach, where?
15 years.
Huh?
It's been about 15
This is not an interview. Just asked him a question, and the kid did 20 minutes, and how he got started. I go to Malibu. We have a home out in Malibu. And the beach to me is getting in a big couch, laying there with a little vodka martini and going, more. And the wife's answer to that is, you're a crude person, and I'm not going to put up with it, and refuses to leave me.
Yeah.
Because she's coming into a ton of money when I take the big cab.
Oh, don't talk like that.
Well, I kid about that.
Yeah.
Death, we must face it. You know, we must face it. I know when my time comes, I know I'll get a big turnout. I figure me for about 40 cars. I figure you for one wagon and the black kid.
Well, at least I'll have you on Black Kids.
Yeah.
We got to, what are we doing? Station identification. We'll be right back. Don Rickles will be
here. We're here at the kitchen of Larry Bud Melman to find out just what goes into Mr. Larry's Mystery Dinners. Tell me, Larry, is it chicken?
Possibly.
Any grains or dried peas?
Sometimes.
What about red meat?
Red meat. On occasion.
Like beef or lamb?
Perhaps.
What about poultry?
Could be.
Mr. Larry's Mystery Dinners. You never know. And neither does he.
Tomorrow night on this show, will Ed McMahon, as Mr. Rickles mentioned, will be here. Also, Annie Leibovitz, the photographer for Rolling Stone. And later in the show, you're going to meet Amy Wallace, and also we're going to take a look at my neighborhood. Don, you're in the New York area out at the Westbury Music Fair.
Yeah, we'll be there starting Wednesday night till Sunday with a friend. I don't know if you've ever had her on a show, but she's a delightful lady, Debbie Reynolds.
No, she's never been here.
She's a wonderful lady. We go back a long time because my film career is not that extensive. I mean, you never saw me at the Academy Awards going, let's hear it for me. But I did a picture with her many years ago called Rat Race. And Debbie was the star with Tony Curtis, and that was the big Paramount days when Debbie was the wonderful starlet of that studio, and it was a big treat because, as you know, as comedians, it's very difficult for all of us to get parts away from your image, you know.
Sure.
So I played this part, and it was a heavy, and it was something that I run on cassettes for my family just to prove to myself I did that, you know. And the parts they offer me now is to be Rodney Dangerfield's valet. So I haven't had an opportunity as yet.
Now, you mentioned movies. We have a couple of the other ones here that you made. Man with the X-ray eyes?
Oh, that was a big winner. That was with Ray Milland, who walked around blind for 2 hours trying to find out where the circus was. It's the best way I can describe it, and but working with Ray was a treat.
What part did you play in that?
I played the guy. Again, I was a heavy in those days, and I was heavy. I was about 203 pounds.
Yeah.
I was single and just running around telling girls I was a whale. But it seemed to work.
Oh, the Money Jungle? What was that?
The Money Jungle I didn't do. That you did in your house with brown socks. You remember?
Yeah. No, that's right.
That's right. You had the mask. Remember? And I was the director. It was about 6 of us. Anyway, it was a hell of a night.
That's
I'll never forgot it.
That was when I had the mobile home.
That's
we did
right.
it out there. Yeah. Muscle Beach Party.
No, a beach blanket bingo, Muscle Beach, right. That I did.
Two different ones, yeah.
Yeah, well, they also were big hits. We did those in 15 days with Frankie Avalon, Annette Funicello, who's now selling peanut butter. And I don't put that as a put-down to Annette. She's a wonderful girl.
Yeah,
I
seems
saw her
like
the
a
other-
nice lady.
Yeah, she really is. She was the one that believed Italy would win the war. And Frankie Avalon and Keenan Wynn and Buddy Hackett and myself, it was a lot of fun in those days.
Yeah.
If you didn't know the dialogue, nobody cared.
Now here, Don, I don't know if you've even seen these. We have 2 comic books, Superman's Pal, the new Jimmy Olsen. And can you take a look at our friend on the cover here?
I never saw that one.
You know
That one I saw.
This one's another Jimmy Olsen comic book with, once again, featuring Don Rickles.
My daughter uses that as her chemistry book.
How is your daughter?
She's great. She's working the neighborhood now. She's Well, hey, it's my daughter. You don't know her. No, she's some Polish guy in the back thinks this is a clinic. Anyway, you'll come up later and bowl. Anyway, now don't write letters if you're Polish. That's a joke. I love all of you dearly, really. I'd be lost without the Polish people. I want to say that my daughter wants to be an actress.
Yeah.
And she's studying hard, and she goes to high school in Los Angeles, and she works very hard at it. And she's like her mother. She says, Dad, I can't understand it. That's the way her mother talks. I married a Valium, David. That's what you have to marry, especially when you're an actor. Don't marry anybody in this business. Please, I beg you, because we're so competitive. It's so nice. I got a wife gets up in the morning and goes, listen, you go to the studio and do your thing, call people idiots, I'm going to buy jewelry. And that's the way her daughter is, and my daughter, too. She says, Dad, I'm going with Mom, and we're going to shop. My son, he's not into that. He just wants baseball and the Dodgers and the
How old is your daughter, Don?
My daughter's 17.
Now, has she come to the age yet where she might bring a date home to meet you?
Well, she brought a guy home the other night. You know, he was great. He had a grenade and a rifle and a... No, my daughter hasn't really reached that point. I think that's going to shake me up because I know she's going to bring home a stiff. I just feel it. I really do. It's not going to be a hip, hip, hooray when she brings home the guy. It's going to be some guy going, hey, what do you say, Pop? Hey, what do you say, old man? Hey. And I'm going to have a lot of problems. But
no, you won't. It'll be fine.
She's a good kid. You keep your fingers crossed with youngsters. Yeah. Today, there's so many problems out there. And television, every time you turn it, we have cable, as you have it here in the East. And every time, in the middle of the night, you know, there's my daughter sitting in the living room, and my son, who's only 13, and you hear Richard Gere going... And I said, somebody got cramps in the house? What's that? And it's Richard Gere taking a shot at a monkey or something. I don't know.
Don will be at the Westbury Music Fair. When does it begin? September 28th?
It begins whenever you want it to
September 28th.
No, it begins Wednesday night. We'll be there this Sunday with Debbie Reynolds. And
have a good time out there.
Thanks. And, David, can I tell you, really, I'm really a fan, and I wish you a lot of luck. There's a lot of guys out there with shows, you know, and... competition is tough, but you've come through like a champ, and I wish you the best.
Thanks. It's very nice of you to say. Don Rickles, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Don. We'll be right back to take a look at the neighborhood.
Our next guest is also a good friend of ours, a legend of comedy.
Hurry up.
Huh? What?
Hurry up.
I'm going. He starred in the classic CPO Sharky, which is, for the first time ever, now available on DVD. There it is. Here he is, Mr. Warmth, Don Rickles. Welcome back, Don. Good to see you. I think since the last time we saw you, you had another birthday. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. 50 years old is not bad.
No.
No, God has been good. Where does the time go? I'm talking to you like we know each other. We do know each other. No, I just want to say, this man, I remember, and you had a radio convention. Where was it, remember?
Oh, I know.
We had a bunch of radio shows.
Yeah.
And I met you.
Yes.
Yeah, I said, where's this guy going with the trick-or-treat hairdo and all this? And suddenly he became a billionaire.
Right. You were very gracious. You came on the show.
Not great enough. And then I went on your show.
Yeah.
And he stood up the whole show. I'll talk to you in a minute. then he stood up the whole show. I remember that.
Yeah.
I said, why is he standing here? He thought it was young Kipper. Anyway. You don't know too much about it.
No, I know
you
nothing
will
about
someday.
it. Someday.
We're going to have a Jew president. Anyway, when we have a Jew president, he's going to get a haircut.
Right.
Anyway, but this man really skyrocketed to fame, and rightly so, and the world loves him. And I was so delighted in my career. Denzel Washington, right, was the last time I was on a show with a famous gentleman, and now with you. And I got to say this before I get to him because he's through.
Right.
Anyway, that you are young, bright, and terrific, and I swear, you are dynamite for the people, and God bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much, man. Well, I mean,
What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
We'll get to you in a minute.
Good
But Don
God.
Rickles, honestly, is my hero. To sit here next to you, you know, when I was a kid, I'd watch talk shows with my mother, and I waited for Don Rickles to come on. It was the highlight of my life. Yep. And to sit next to him is maybe the greatest thing, the greatest gift you could ever give me, really. And I love you. Now, Rip Dave a new.
God bless you. God bless you. Wait a minute, I'm not through with it.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you know what? Dave's moving to Montana. I brought him a gift. Here's a cowboy hat. Let me see how you look at it. Put this on. Put it on. Come on. There you go. Don, look at him. You got to hear this.
How you doing?
He rides horses.
You know,
He rides horses.
You ride horses, Dave?
you know you're trespassing. Don't make me call the sheriff.
I read an article that
God's sakes.
Dave rides horses.
Yeah. You know,
Listen to
because
this.
Jack Hanna, who runs a zoo,
Yeah, I know.
told me
I don't live under a rock. I know who Jack Hanna is.
He acts like you don't know what's going on.
You know who handled Jack Hanna? Look at, we're making him famous all of a sudden.
Right.
Jack Hanna, when Johnny Carson, rest his soul, used to work with the animals. He worked great with them. Then I watched you work with the animals. But I'll tell you what.
Wait a minute, it's the animals. I got nothing to do with it.
No need to get pissed off. We're just talking. That's a nice thing, guy. You become nasty. Here we are, two Jews looking for friends, and you turn on them.
I think I'm a little on edge, Don. I'm sorry.
I took a guess you're Jewish. No, Sam.
Yeah. How'd you know? How could you tell?
By the way, I saw your wife. He's got a beautiful wife.
woman.
Thank you. And as you do, too.
Beth.
Well, yeah, God bless. But, you know,
Barbara.
she does it, you know.
Yeah, the mom.
No, I got a great wife.
Dave has a great wife. He's going to sentence her to a life in Montana.
We're not moving to Montana.
She's going to go down to the general store and be friends with Aunt B. It's going to be a great life.
Aunt B, is that what you said?
Aunt B.
Aunt B.
Remember Aunt B?
You know what he said when he was deaf?
All right. We'll be right back with Don Rickles. Don Rickles, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see him at the New York CB Theater. New York CB, NYCB, what is that?
What is this, a test?
Yes. Westbury, it's the old Westbury Music Fair.
Yeah, they changed the name, Westbury.
Yeah, that's right. May 16th, it'll be the night of your life, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, Howard is on.
By the way, he has a lot of money, but I got to plug this in.
Yes, I understand.
We'll be in Monmouth. Is it how do you pronounce it? Jersey.
Monmouth.
Monmouth, yeah.
Right.
That's his head writer who just stands in the corner going, Anyway.
We look like we're in the Amish Mafia.
Yes. This is great.
No, they're yarmulkes.
Yeah.
Yarmulkes.
I'm not going to be invited to Montana,
And,
you think, Don?
You don't want to go there.
Howard Stern, of course, on the Howard Stern Show. You work how many days a week?
I work 3 days a week there, and then, of course, my excellent judging on America's Got
Oh, that's right, American Idol. That's
Very
right.
good on that.
We got to go.
Thank you.
And CPO
You're very good on
Sharkey,
everything.
now available on DVD.
This guy's
Good night,
annoying.
everybody.
Is never gone. He is a tremendous artist, and it's sad. The man I miss and adored, and then he stepped in those ropes. Johnny Carson, rest his soul, was here all. And now we have the great Jimmy Kimmel and the great David, the other, Jimmy Fallon. I'll be on this show, but I don't play bingo.
Right.
Anyway, to all of you, support all these artists, and remember, there'll never be another Letterman. He was the best.
There'll never be another Don Rickles either, no.
Yeah, I know, right?
Don Rickles, ladies and gentlemen.